Happening now, a man is behind bars after a high-speed chase. What's next for Jamestown City Council? Our Ryan Hedrick is standing by with a report.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, I'll stop there before your ears bleed. I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. They're putting the Christmas tree up here at City Hall in downtown Jamestown, but it's not going to feel like Christmas this week. But a big change could be on the way for the weekend. We'll talk about it coming up.
You see this? The New York Giants fall to 1-9. Hey, the Buffalo Bills lost as well. You know the Bills and the Sabres have equal amount of wins? Those stories next on Sports.
That's news now for Monday, November 13th, 2017.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works Studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us. Happy Monday. I'm Justin Gould. Our top story, a quarryman is facing several felony charges following a vehicle pursuit with state police on Thursday on the Thruway Sunday night. State police say 32-year-old Kevin Pritchard left the scene of a property damage accident at the Ripley toll barrier on I-90. He then fled police when they arrived in the area. Pritchard allegedly struck 5 vehicles during that chase. Police eventually did get him to pull over. He faces a laundry list of charges. You can read those at our site, WNYNewsNow.com. In other news, in honor of Veterans Day, Governor Andrew Cuomo signed legislation allowing medical marijuana to be used to treat post-traumatic stress disorder. The governor spoke to reporters Saturday.
This country is not this country without the work of the veterans. And their sacrifice and their courage is the highest form of patriotism.
The bill allows military veterans, police officers, and firefighters, as well as survivors of domestic violence, to access the state's burgeoning marijuana dispensary system. Some big changes are on the way to Jamestown City Council. Just a week after Election Day, our Ryan Hedrick is asking the question, what's next for the council?
Typically in non-presidential election years, voter turnout is low. County Election Chairman Norm Green tells us that it's about 30% or so. Now, whether that number was higher or lower remains to be seen, but we can tell you that for Jamestown City residents, the ones who voted spoke loud. They voted out City Council President Greg Rabb and voted in newcomers Democrat Vanessa Weinert and Republican Andy Lee Uzo. That pair will sit on the council along with Republican lawmaker Kim Eklund, who was voted back in. For some context about how important this whole thing is, we turn to Todd Tranum. He's the head of the Jamestown Chamber of Commerce. About 2 months ago at a business expo downtown, Tranum spoke out against the city council that he called stale and uninterested.
We don't have a council that asks questions. We have a council, and if there's someone on council, you can come up and debate me in the room. We have a council that hasn't asked the questions that need to be asked, that has become a rubber stamp in many situations, that has unfortunately allowed an administration, frankly, to push out the business community from a lot of boards and committees and the Board of Public Utilities. Very, very concerning to us.
Immediately after Tranum spoke, we sought comment from Greg Rabb, who said,
Todd's never come to me to talk about it, ever, either at a public meeting or quietly or privately. So if Todd really thinks that that's what's happening, I would encourage him and come and talk to me as soon as possible. But I've been on council for 10 years. He's never mentioned that to me. So if he thinks we're going in the wrong direction, I'd be happy to talk to him. But I don't think we are.
The attention turns to Jamestown Mayor Sam Teresi, who many think is a sitting duck. Teresi will be challenged in 2020. Our sources tell us that the city Republican Party is rallying candidates to try and get Teresi out of office. Now, whether that happens, time will tell. But we can tell you that some city residents believe that Greg Rabb being ousted on election night changed the direction of the city council for the immediate future. I'm Ryan Hedrick, WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Good reporting, Ryan. Thank you very much. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with a first look out our window. Hey, Dakota.
I'll look out our window?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's different than saying a first look at the weather.
I didn't quite understand what you were going for with that. But
Well,
hey, but
The weather's out the window, right?
yeah, well, that's true. We do have a window here in the weather center that I often look out of, but yeah. But anyway, happy Monday, everybody. Let's start off first weather with the Ellicott Valley, Holiday Valley Sky Vision camera. Nothing going on because obviously the season hasn't started yet, but they will be making snow pretty soon, and pretty soon we're going to start seeing a bunch of skiers and snowboarders out here, so the season is rapidly coming, but it's not going to feel like winter for the first part of this week, but a major change could be on the way for the weekend. We'll talk about that full First Defense 7-day forecast in just a little bit. Back to you, Justin.
Alrighty. Thank you, Dakota. Well, attention Walmart shoppers, discounts are on the way. Whether you're shopping online or headed to a brick and mortar store, the retail giant plans to be open and offer those Black Friday specials on Thanksgiving this year. The sale prices will also be available for items purchased on their website beginning at 12:01 a.m. Thanksgiving morning. Now, if you're going to a store, doorbuster discounts will be also available starting at 6 p.m. in the evening. Store employees will also hand out color-coded maps to help shoppers keep from getting a little frazzled while they search for those deals. Target and Toys R Us will also open early for people who'd rather shop than eat that turkey. And it turns out that plenty of folks want to do just that. An analyst by the consultant group PwC found that 58% of people surveyed wanted to shop rather than eat that amazing Thanksgiving meal. Now that's a substantial rise over last year. Back in 2016, only 40% of those surveyed said they'd shop on Thanksgiving. I'd rather eat turkey. Well, coming up next, a fan struck at the Bills game yesterday. We'll tell you about that. And later, a look at Jamestown's Christmas tree when we come back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
2 women were struck by a sedan outside of New Era Field after the Bills game on Sunday. Channel 4 is reporting a 4-door sedan struck the pair shortly after 6 p.m. near One Bills Drive. Orchard Park police say one woman was knocked out cold while the other victim was trapped underneath of the car. Authorities say the driver of the car is cooperating with their investigation. No word on charges yet. Well, where will you shop this holiday season? Experts predict it's probably not at Macy's. Revenue fell 6.1% last quarter. That drop was worse than Wall Street was thinking it would be. The third quarter dip continued, an unfortunate trend for the retailer. Now, this is the 11th straight quarterly decline for the store. Although the retail giant's online sales did double. The store's bottom line is being hit by internet retailers, and Americans seem to be staying away from shopping malls and brick and mortar stores this holiday season, making more online purchases. We certainly saw that coming. Well, USA Today is reporting that the iPhone X sold out in 20 big cities by the end of last week. And while the sales are red hot, the device is freezing up. In cold temperatures, Apple says it's aware of reports of the screen becoming temporarily unresponsive to touch after a rapid change to a cold environment. The company says it's working on a software fix.
Now, your First Defense Forecast with Dakota Hunter.
Honestly, folks, just stay home on Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays with your family. It's not all about shopping and all that stuff.
Right?
Yeah, there's my rant for the day.
Eat your turkey, you know?
Yeah, eat the turkey, you know.
And then take a nap.
Yeah, you know, it's the same way with Christmas. Enjoy that Christmas ham or whatever it is you eat for Christmas. enjoy that. Don't go out and shopping. It's not all commercial these days. Enjoy it with your family. There's my rant for the day. Now, getting into weather, Friday we had just those insanely cold temperatures along with that burst of snow that we had also. This was sent into our Facebook page on Friday. It looks just like winter with the snow on the trees and the snow falling. Thanks to Ashley for sending that picture in to us. And again, we encourage you to send in your weather photos. You can send it to us on Facebook, and you can also tweet them to me on Twitter. My handle is HuntersWX. And speaking about Friday, man, it was just cold. We broke records Friday. We broke the new record low minimum high temperature for the day. We maxed out at 23. That occurred at, it actually occurred just a little after almost noon, actually. And the old record for Friday was 30, set way back in 1877. So we just completely shattered that record. And we broke a new low temperature as well. We bottomed out at 9 degrees at 7:45 Friday night. The old record was 10, set back in 1991. So, man, it was a really cold Friday. But good news is, it's not that cold out there today. You got 37 in Jamestown, 41 in Dunkirk, 42 at Erie, and 39 up in Buffalo, 40 up in the Falls, 37 down there in Olean, down in the Allegheny River Valley. And when you take in the wind to effect, we don't have much of a wind chill because the winds aren't very strong. So it only feels like 33 in J-Town, 38 in Dunkirk, and 37 in Erie. So the wind chill is not too bad out there because we don't have much wind to go along with that either. Now it's time to introduce a new Peg the Geek Meter segment. We're going to be talking about the old weather balloon today. This is exactly what it looks like here. And essentially, the weather balloon is part of the National Weather Service's Upper Air program, and it collects data above the sky. And this little box right here attached to the balloon is called a radiosonde. And this is actually what does all the work. The balloon is more like the carrier, gets all the credit, but the balloon really does nothing but just send the radiosonde up. This little box weighs about a pound, and it sends this, and the balloon sends that radiosonde up into the atmosphere. And this little box measures the temperature, the humidity, the pressure, and the winds aloft in the atmosphere. And once the balloon gets about 80,000 feet into the atmosphere, the balloon then breaks, the radiosonde then falls, and that is why we have this little red thing attached to the balloon. That's called a parachute, and that's there for two reasons. It's there for safety, because once the balloon breaks, the terminal velocity of a falling radiosonde is about 140 miles an hour. You obviously don't want to have that falling down because you might kill somebody when you have something falling from the sky at 140 miles an hour. So the parachute helps protect it and makes it land safely, so that way we're not killing anybody. And the data that is returned on that radiosonde is called a sounding. And the data from that sounding is plotted on what's called a skew-T diagram. Skew temperature, the T stands for temperature. Meteorologists are terribly crafty when it comes to naming things. And this is a skew-T diagram right here. This actually was this morning's balloon launch from the Buffalo airport. So that is our sounding. And you can see that red line is the temperature, the green line is the dew point. And the data shows us the state of the atmosphere. And it's very important to forecasters because we need to know what's going on above the ground. We need to know what's going on in the atmosphere so that way we know. Now, I told you that that parachute was a tax-saving measure, and this is actually where they're launched. This is the balloon launching site right here. That little dome thing actually has an antenna in it that actually receives the data from the radiosonde. And so there's 92 sites across the United States that launch these. Our launch site is at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport in Cheektowaga. And the National Weather Service in Buffalo launches 2 of these balloons a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And here's a little trivia. This is the reason why we have that parachute on there as well. The National Weather Service needs a ton of money for this program. The upper air budget for the National Weather Service is something in the order of $54 million. And with 92 sites, that covers all 92 sites and both balloon launches. Now, sometimes the Weather Service can launch more than one balloon. They can do a special balloon launch if we have probability for severe weather to get a more current idea of the atmosphere, but generally 2 a day are launched, $54 million. We need a ton of money for this, and with budget cuts being imposed to NOAA and the National Weather Service, it's obviously not good because we need these balloon launches to know what's going on in the atmosphere. Current conditions out at the airport right now, it is 37 degrees, again, feels like 33, combine it with that northwest wind of 5, and you can see some of the cloud cover there at the JCC Skycam as well. Your forecast details for this Monday, your sunset time comes up at 4:57 this afternoon. It's getting sooner and sooner now. And your sunrise at 7:05 tomorrow morning. And your record for this date is 66, set in 1982. And your record low is 14, set in 1986. Lake temperatures 51 degrees off Buffalo and Lake Erie, and 53 degrees on Lake Ontario off the coast of Rochester. First Defense forecast for this Monday: chance for a few showers, otherwise just cloudy. A few breaks in the cloud cover could be possible, leading to some mostly cloudy skies. We'll go for a high of around 41 with that northwest wind 4 to 8 miles an hour. And then for tonight, chance for a wintry mix. A little bit chilly, but not too bad. 33 average low. Again, some of the colder pockets in the valleys could probably dip a little colder than that. Light and variable wind. We won't have a lot of wind, so that'll feel a lot better. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. That's pretty much about it. Light and variable wind won't feel bad. Highs going around 40. I took this picture a few years ago. This is a sunrise over Jamestown from a few years ago. I took that picture a few years ago, and that still looks good to this day. Here's the next 7 days of your life, and you can see that we still have a little bit of rain and wintry mix to go along for the remainder of the week, with temperatures hovering right around average. Now, next weekend, there is a potential for a developing storm system that could rock through the region, that could bring us rain, wind, and snow. Some of the computer model guidance suggests wind gusts over 65 miles an hour. That's an if at this point. That could very well change, but of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the week. Ryan will have sports right after the break, so please stay with us.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, introducing Sound Rhythm Studio Lessons, drums, percussion, private, semi-private. Little Fingers classes include piano, young beginners guitar, ukulele. Sign up by calling 450-0072. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
The team that puts coverage first. We have some breaking news. Police confirming now that Steve Stevens was found dead in Erie, Pennsylvania.
His house is on fire and it's dangerously close to the Appleyard Terrace.
Fire crews battling another blaze.
It needs to be treated as the terrorist act that it is.
He got the ball, he just went to the hoop and he shot it.
And as for the star of the show, Tucker Pierce.
I feel good.
Proceeds from the Battle of the Classes going to the Alex Folk Foundation.
50 years of service and dedication to anything is very impressive. Put your lives on the line for your neighbors.
It's just something that I think people should do. You have to give back to the community.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The worst football team in the league, and they could use that guy right there, Peyton Manning. No doubt consoling his younger brother Eli about this horrible season. Look at that touchdown strike to Marquise Goodwin, 49ers receiver, 83 yards to the end zone. That was an emotional touchdown. He just lost his baby boy. His wife had a bad pregnancy. They lost him hours before the game. The 49ers beat the Giants 31-21. The Buffalo Bills looked like they didn't even want to play yesterday. Look at Drew Brees scrambling in the third quarter. It looked like he was going to throw, but he nearly walked into the end zone unimpeded. The New Era crowd boos the Bills right off the field. That is the first Bills home loss of the season, and boy, well, the Steelers had to fight back on Sunday, down 17-3 in the third quarter. Ben Roethlisberger hits Juju Smith-Schuster with the touchdown pass. Extra point attempt would be blocked. Late in the fourth quarter, tied at 17. Ben Roethlisberger, look at him find Antonio Brown on the crossing route for the big gain. Moments later, Chris Boswell drills the game-winning 33-yard field goal as time expires. And the Steelers, down by 2 touchdowns, come back to win it on the road. They're 7-2 and in very good position as we near crunch time for playoff positioning. Again, 20-17 win over the Colts. Madison Square Garden will be rocking tonight, especially if Kristaps Porzingis does that. Look at him work the pick and roll with Ntilikina over the weekend and throw it down with the right hand. The Garden was rocking. LeBron James is in town tonight. Tip-off at 7 p.m. We'll have highlights on Tuesday morning. Jamestown Community College men beat Cecil College over the weekend 73-64. They shot free throws very well down the stretch, hitting 21 of 26. That's the reason they won. The women didn't have the same luck over the weekend. They were blown out by Avery, 112-81. That game played in Connecticut. The women return to action on Wednesday against Erie Community College. And we saved the best for last. Congratulations to the Maple Grove football team. They're on their way to the regionals. They'll play Tioga on Thursday at 4 p.m. From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. It all unfolds here.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Jamestown's Christmas tree went up at City Hall this morning. You see there the giant white spruce was plucked from Bergman Park near the playground area. Crews installed the green giant just before 11 a.m. with the BPU crane. A Lakeshore Paving and the city's park department was credited with transporting the tree to downtown. The annual Christmas Parade Dakota and tree lighting ceremony is set for Friday, December 1st, something you can watch right here on WNY News Now. I wanted to show, we just pulled a picture from the VPU's Facebook page of the tree. There it is, being plucked from its spot at near Bergman Park. So it looks like it's like the playground's right there on the right, and then there's kind of like the pavilion area.
Poor tree.
Right. Well, it's actually kind of amazing how they do it. Like they just cut it off, put it on the bed, and then hope there's no squirrels or anything in it.
It'd be like Christmas Vacation.
Right.
With squirrel in the tree and pussycat under the chair.
Right. We'd have a big...
That's one of my favorite Christmas movies is Christmas Vacation.
So hopefully this year, we were talking, because you and I, we went down to film this, and then to also have to film your weather intro at the beginning of the show. Hopefully the tree doesn't fall this time.
Yeah,
like,
that happened a few years ago where I think it was a windy night and the tree actually fell over. I was actually in Buffalo at the time, and I actually remember seeing that all over my Facebook. Like, the tree at City Hall fell over, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
That is just like the funniest thing. That was just hysterical.
Now, you were saying, too, Jamestown's one of the only few places that actually still has like a Christmas tree at City Hall, right?
As far as I know, because I know in Buffalo, they never used to put one at the Buffalo City Hall downtown. Of course, I don't know how you can put a tree on the Buffalo City Hall. I'm not sure how many places around the country still like have Christmas trees that they put up downtown.
Like you have like the Rockefeller Christmas tree in New York City, but that's kind of like sponsored by, I'm assuming that company, the building. I think NBC is who's there. But it's kind of cool. And I know like other municipalities kind of have trees and displays, and it's nice. I know not everybody's on like the whole Christmas bandwagon these days, but you know, it is nice to, and the parade and the tree lighting celebration in a couple of weeks is a great time for family, friends, kids. I mean, I know we're going to be having a wild party here.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun. Speaking of wild parties.
My favorite part of the Christmas Day parade, the Red Raider marching band. Red Raiders.
Gosh, they're so good. Yeah, they're amazing.
Jamestown alum. I'm sorry.
Final look at the weather.
Yeah. Let's go to weather. I've just gotten myself in trouble now. Let's go and take a look at that 7-day one more time. Again, pretty much dry for today and tomorrow with temperatures a little below average. Average high this time of the year is 47, and we're going to be a little bit below it. Now, Wednesday, we bring in a chance for a few rain showers, with the temperatures actually warming up to about where they should be for this time of the year. We'll be around average. Now, again, the weekend, the prime global computer models we use, the GFS and the European ensembles, they are bringing a developing storm system close to the region that will develop gusty winds and probable snow on Sunday. Now, keep in mind, this could very well change, but the GFS tends to be the most accurate computer model out of all the computer models that we use. And well, actually, it's the European, not the GFS, tends to be the most accurate. And the European does point to wind gusts around 60, 65 miles an hour Saturday night going into Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And again, now, that could all change, need I remind you, but it's something that we're keeping an eye on, and we definitely will keep you updated throughout the week right here on News Now. And so, yeah.
Perfect. All right. We'll look forward to it, Dakota. Thank you. Sure. Well, that is it for today. Of course, be sure to join us back here tomorrow. In the meantime, head to WNYNewsNow.com, where coverage comes first. See you tomorrow.